Welcome back, everybody. So, Alien movie review. Really looking forward to this one. So, Alien was released on the 25th of May 1979. Its director was Ridley Scott. It was made on a budget of 8.4 million US dollars and made 204.6 million US dollars. The cast in this movie is really impressive as well, in the form of Tom Sherrick, it's something along those lines anyway. Sigourney Weaver, Veronica Cartwright, John Hurt, Harry Dean Stanton, Ian Holm, plus Yaphet Kotto. I do believe that's how you say his name. So, in this first installment in the Alien franchise, the crew of a spacecraft called Nostromo intercept a distress beacon, and they go off and investigate. And basically, it's not long before things start to go wrong for this crew. So, here we go. What do I honestly think about this movie? It's a classic. It's as simple as that. And it's a classic which, in my opinion, will always stand the test of time. And here are the reasons why I enjoy this movie so much. Okay, so like I said, this movie is a classic to me, and this movie is one of those movies that will always stand the test of time. I watched this movie again this morning before I did this review, and I was actually looking to see if I could find anything that I dislike in this movie. And I got to be honest with you, I cannot find anything in this movie that I actually dislike. There are so many different parts of this movie which gel together to make it such an enjoyable, entertaining, yet on your edge of your seat kind of suspenseful kind of movie. And the director Ridley Scott here does an absolutely fantastic job of pulling this movie off. And from the start of this movie, you do get this very kind of dark, creepy vibe. It sets a tone of this movie. You got that already within the first 5 minutes. You got that feeling of that you're all alone in deep space by yourself, and this is how it comes across. And this is exactly how I think they're trying to portray this: is to make you feel that claustrophobic kind of feeling. You're in deep space. If something goes wrong, you're not going to be able to get away. And I generally love the feeling that they can get you to produce while watching this within the first 10 minutes or even the first few minutes. You know, there's so much, not so much going on, it's just the texture and feel they give to you, or they're trying to show you in this movie, in a way of how dark this is. It's set in deep space. These people have traveled so many light years. It's the fact that they're in hypersleep, and you know that there is no immediate help when stuff starts to go wrong, which it isn't long potentially until things do start to go wrong. But like I said, it's that feel that you get from this. It's how they push that feeling onto you straight away earlier on in the movie, which is what I absolutely love to bits with this. You really do get this real claustrophobic kind of feel, especially when you get into the spaceship and you know you just can feel it. You know, there is nowhere to run. It's I wouldn't say it's very tight kind of space, but you're stuck on that for a long time, and it will play on your mind in certain respects. And I just absolutely love that kind of feel that you get from it. What I also love about this movie as well is the fact of set designs. This movie was made in or released. It was probably made in 1978. Along those it was probably filmed in 1978, something around around that time anyway. But knowing that movie was filmed in the 70s, the set design in this movie is absolutely fantastic. Knowing that this movie is set in the future, the design of this, you are actually convinced that this is basically set in the future, because it hasn't got the same feel of all these modern computers that you see in like modern space movies now, but for a movie that come out in that time, the attention to detail and how believable it is that they're actually in a spacecraft, I absolutely loved. And I'm not just talking about on the spaceship for set design, I'm talking going onto the planet as well, going into the ship, which is giving off the distress beacon. The design in those sets is absolutely fantastic, and I think they pulled it off really, really well. This going into performances in this. Now, I've always said in past movie reviews that I'm one for character development. In this one, there is not really there is no character development. There isn't no backstory really to any of the characters or the crew on this spaceship. But I'm absolutely cool with it because you know that this is mainly going to be centered around something bad going to be happening on this spaceship, and you don't want to be too sidetracked with people's backstories in this kind of movie because essentially this is a horror sci-fi movie and you don't want to distract too much. Like I said, I'm one for character development, but in this movie, I'm quite happy that there wasn't because you know something's coming. There is that suspenseful feel in the first hour of this movie, and you know that something's coming. If you've never seen this movie before, you know that there is something coming, but you'll never know exactly what it is. For somebody like me who's watched this movie a lot more than 10, probably 20 times in his life, even now, even though I know what's coming, the feel and how it makes you feel and this suspenseful build up within the first hour is just absolutely fantastic because you know something is coming, you know it's coming, but you just don't know what, and you don't know when, and you don't know how it's going to appear, and you don't know what it's going to do. It's that classic kind of example is less is more, and that just leads me on to. Now I've just gone sidetracked. The performances in this movie are absolutely fantastic. I love every single performance in this. There's not a massive amount of dialogue in this movie. It is mainly centered around going to investigate this ship and then having to deal with this alien, which is not a spoiler because the name of the movie is Alien, to be fair, and it's a horror. So you can just put two and two together, to be honest with you. It's not a spoiler in any way, shape, or form, but the characters just really, it gives off this very much a workplace kind of vibe. And it's that kind of scenario where you get that banter and you know you get people asking, there's certain lines in there going for pay, and you really get this kind of work life kind of feel to them. It is a job, it's not a special mission in any way, shape, or form. They're transporting something, and you know you get that feel it's just like a normal regular day's job for them, and I absolutely love that to bits. It just really adds to it because you just know that these people are completely out their water when they start experiencing some stuff going on in this ship. I just love it. They're like a fish out of water. It's just brilliant. And just moving on to the alien kind of side of it, when I said less is more, this is a prime example of this. You don't see a huge amount of the alien, which I'm not even that fussed with. Even death scenes in this movie, you do not see anything graphic in this. It's left to your own imagination about pretty much what's going to happen to the majority of these people. And I absolutely love that feeling, that not really getting a full sense of what on that ship until near the end. I just generally liked what they did. That going on with the musical, just that music, the musical score in here, and just the kind of, I don't think there's a huge amount of musical score in this, to be fair. I've got to be honest, there's not, but it's just that vibe, that feel, that what they're trying to show you just makes it a very entertaining watch. Me personally, I've never ever been bored while watching this movie. I never ever will be bored while watching this movie. It's the quickest hour and 50 or hour and 49 minutes ever. I do highly recommend this movie just because of the way it looks, the way they put this together, the way the performances are portrayed, which I'm not going to go too into depth with because, and I can't give, in case you haven't seen it, I don't want to give anything away in this. There is a couple of great scenes here in this movie with Ian Holm towards the end of this movie. It's absolutely fantastic. Real kind of psychotic kind of turn, twists. It's absolutely fantastic. I actually really enjoy that. You get comedic kind of banter in this movie, but it's not overly done where it spoils the tone of this movie because essentially this is a horror movie. There is that certain little bits of banter and all that kind of stuff where you can have a little wry smile to. I could go on about this movie for so long. Like I said, set design, visuals in this, absolutely fantastic. Not reliant really on special effects as such or visual effects. I mean, CGI is basically what I was trying to say there, which I absolutely loved, which adds to that feel that it's got that more of a futuristic, and it is quite believable that this is a movie which was probably made 40 years. It's got that futuristic kind of feel to it, but it's not done with all these flashy computers that you get to see in other movies now. It's very believable what you're watching. It's not unbelievable in any way, shape, or form. It's very, very believable, and I absolutely love it to pieces. It's one of these movies where I will always give this a 10 out of 10 because the first one of any movie franchise is normally the best one. There's very, very few movies where the sequel is better than the first. There are a few, but this franchise is one of them, actually, to be fair, because the second one is actually very, very good as well. Extremely good, which is another review for another day. But if I was to rate this, if I'd never seen this movie before, ever, okay, I would still give this a 10 out of 10. It's an absolutely entertaining watch. It's got a very suspenseful feel to it. I love what they did. I love how they make you feel in this, that claustrophobic kind of, oh my God, they are actually alone. There is nobody coming to help them anytime soon kind of feel. And when something starts to go wrong, problems start to go wrong. And I absolutely love that kind of suspenseful feel build up in this movie. It just makes it a very entertaining watch for me. It's always been a classic. It's as simple as that. So, on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below. As normal, I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please stay tuned for the bonus 5 movie facts about Alien, which is coming up in a second. Okay, 5 movie facts to do with the movie Alien. And to be fair, when I did some research on this, there was a lot, and I wanted to choose 5. And there was a lot of facts about this movie. So, fact number 1 is that this movie Alien was actually originally called Star Beast. Yeah, to me, Star Beast, Alien. Would Star Beast have really grabbed my attention? As long as the movie was the same, yes, it probably would have done. But knowing that it was originally going to be called Star Beast, knowing that I'd known it as Alien, for me now, no, it wouldn't work. But it's a strange name, but I get it. I understand the thinking behind the name. But for me, nah, not for me. So, number 2. Ripley was actually written for a male character, but the producers and certain other people in this movie who were making this movie decided to make it a character for a woman because it'd make her more unique. And to be honest with you, Ripley, or Sigourney Weaver playing Ripley, is an absolutely fantastic choice. And I don't think they realised exactly how much of a fantastic choice that was going to be until they made Aliens, because she's absolutely fantastic in that one as well. And it's her signature role anyway now, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, fact number 3. The actors were generally shocked at the chestbuster scene. John Hurt and the director Ridley Scott basically discussed this scene without the other characters or actors being there, and it became a complete shock to this scene become a complete shock to them because they didn't know what was actually coming in this scene. So the shock, what you see on their faces, is genuine shock from those other actors. I think it's an absolutely fantastic way of doing it as well. I really, really do. And you can see that shock in their eyes, and it's their reaction is absolutely fantastic. Which then leads on, okay, to my 4th fact, is that chestbuster scene was actually filmed in one take by 4 cameras. Now, let me put it like this for you. For that to be filmed in one take and the other actors not knowing what was coming means that there was some improvised acting there going on. At a certain point, there had to be some improvised acting going on. But for that to be done in one take, with the other actors not knowing how John Hurt was going to perform that scene, is just absolutely fantastic. I just loved the reaction to this. I love what there had to be improvised acting from some of those others in that scene. It had to be on the spur of the moment acting. I absolutely love it. It's probably the best scene out of the whole of that movie, and it's an iconic movie scene of all time, and I love the way they put that together. Which then leads on to fact number 5. According to Yaphet Kotto, Ridley Scott told him to annoy Sigourney Weaver offset or off screen to really raise the tensions between their characters on screen, so that she kind of hated him or just was very much annoyed by him and all that, to create that tension in the movie that you get to see in this movie. It really, really worked. What we didn't know is that Kato actually regretted this because he actually really, really liked Sigourney Weaver, but he did this in the kind of respect of the filmmaking or the director's wish to just add more to it, which this is another reason why I absolutely love Ridley Scott as a director as well, because there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of depth, there's a lot of planning behind his movies, especially this movie. There is a lot of facts on this movie, and all of the director's decisions in this is to get the best out of the actors to make everything so much better, or just generally just love it. I really, really do. There's so much depth, there's so much detail, there's so much thought behind this movie, which just makes it so good. And these facts, like I said, they're just not even there's so many more facts behind this movie, and I just love this movie to bits. So, on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. Hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care, and goodbye.